Right, first of all, I'd just like to thank everyone who took time out of their work after the day to come. We really appreciate it. It's the first time we've done a networking event like this. It's good for us to learn, but we really wanted to do this because we wanted to give some value back. So create an atmosphere where people could network, have some really amazing samosas. I hope you really like them. Your feedback would be really good. So hopefully we can get viral from that samosa element, whereas everyone else does like net whining and samosas, except like pizzas. So yeah, the whole point of it is network, eat our amazing samosas, learn something fun. So the first topic of what we're going to do is about social media, smart social media campaigns. But you can follow us on social media: Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. We're always sharing really good, insightful content on there. Use our handle Bobble Digital. If you want to take pictures of me, it's GDPR compliant, so I give you my permission. This is my favourite side, if anyone wants to make. So it's my good side. It's the best side that I shave on as well, to be honest with you. It's the best side I get. So yeah, just use the hashtag Bobble Bitesize. We want to get that kind of trend in. So just literally 30 seconds who we are. We're an agile marketing agency. You can see it on our flyers, you can see it on our banner. We use an agile approach that we develop our own methodology from to help select digital channels and deliver a digital marketing strategy for our clients. We take our clients on a digital journey. These are our services. We offer everything from strategy, digital marketing analytics, creative design, website design, build, and video design and production. But in terms of digital marketing, this is what our core focus is, and this is why we want to do these talks and these networking events, is to raise more awareness, provide more value on the different various topics that you have within digital marketing, from PPC, SEO, all the way through digital out-of-home video campaigns and digital TV and affiliates and partnerships. So the idea is that we do the events every first Wednesday of the month. We'll probably do the next one maybe in the morning to get more people, but the idea is it should work quite well. So what we're going to cover today, you don't have to take any notes. You can go on our website right now and download a full ebook of everything we're going to go through today as a value proposition. It's free to download. So go onto our website afterwards or throughout the week, but we'll send through a notification to all the attendees of the ebook. We're just going to go through some simple things: audience profiling, campaign structure, bidding, social ad formats, and reporting analytics, which will help make your social media campaign smarter and help save you up to 50% media spend. And then I'll leave it up to a short Q&A afterwards. So the focus of the seminar is for you to be able to understand how to make your social media campaign smarter. So let's get straight into it. Audience profiling. So what is that? It's a method used to understand the particular customer base that your business has. Now, sometimes businesses struggle to understand who their customer base are, but you might already have that data. So if you're an individual business or you work for a business, you work within their marketing teams, you already have that data because you will already have existing customers, converted customers, and potential customers. But what it is about is understanding and profiling and segmenting those customers into different elements and different groups. So audience profiling is key, because without it, you're just going to be throwing an arrow into the dark in terms of who you want to target. Social media, there's so many different channels available to you that it's important to get the best ROI by understanding who your audience is. Now, what you don't want to be doing is going into and setting up a campaign, doing mass market targeting everyone who likes marketing, for example, because they might not be relevant to who your customers are, but you want to start narrowing it down. And the way you do that is by following the 4 basic principles of audience profiling that we have, which is 1, segmentation, 2, communication, 3, engagement, and finally measurement, which is the most key element. So segmentation, what do we mean by this? So you have your general demographics that you can use across all social platforms, from gender, age, location, etc. These are your basic demographics. But as someone who works with a marketing team or an individual or someone who runs a company, you want to understand your customers' behaviors a bit more. So you want to look at wider elements and important factors such as lifestyles. Lifestyles are quite key. It could be anything from, are they very environmental? Are they very conscious about waste? Do they want to affiliate with businesses and brands that are green and good for the environment, that are sustainable, that do well within the community in the city that they live in? You've got attitudes, so the attitudes they have and interests they have towards certain products, and education, which is key. So you don't want to be targeting someone just by their gender and age. You want to be targeting them by their education. So if you are, let's say, a one of our clients is Interface and they want to target architects and designers, you can break that down a bit further to understand what interests architects and designers have, what kind of groups do they follow on social media, for example, what kind of education do they go, did they go to an actual architectural established university, do they have certain degrees and what is the name of that degree, and you can actually start typing those things in to start segregating your target market and your audience a bit more granular. Then it's communication, so focusing on creating what we call a custom-made social experience. What an 18-year-old student architecture will respond to will be different to a 50-year-old architecture designer who's had nearly 25 years experience in the industry. You want to change the message to what it is. You want to do custom-made, and that's why obviously segregation is key, because what we see with a lot of clients in terms of how they set their campaigns off, they'll do targeting the United Kingdom, age 18 to 20, well, actually more than that, 35, so it's a wide age range, male and female targeting within the campaign. Then they'll add a list of interest groups, targeting income from 18,000 to 50,000. All that is good and relevant, but what you're doing is you're just increasing your actual audience size. You're not narrowing down to who your actual customers are. And what that does is it increases the cost of advertising to that mass reach, and then you're giving them a simple 1, 2, 3 messages to a wide audience when you're only trying to hit a small market of that audience who actually understand the products and services that you offer. So that's why creating custom messages, once you segregate your audience profile, is key, because you might want to use certain terminology or certain languages. I know you work in languages, you want to use certain languages in different countries that they might resonate with different products and services they use and engage with. Engagement is key. It's finding out the right time and place to place that ad. You've got your audience, you've segmented them into different elements. If it was me, if it's e-commerce, I'd be doing like 18 to 19 as one ad group. I'd do 20 to 21 as another. Once you've segregated that audience, it's about timing them right. So how many people, just by a show of hands, use LinkedIn over Facebook during the day? More? Right? Now, on the other way around, now that it's in the afternoon, how many people use Facebook over LinkedIn more in the evening, or any other social platform above LinkedIn? So do you use the same LinkedIn profile activities? No, it changes. People use a lot of LinkedIn throughout the day as a social platform, but in the afternoon they'll switch to Snapchat, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and it's all about stories. They'll move on to YouTube, they move on to Netflix. What they're doing in the evening isn't what they're doing in the work, because you can't do that during your working day. So that's what I mean by the time and place. Time is the right time in terms of when they might be engaged, when they might be looking into those kind of services and products you're offering, but the place is the different devices. Are you on tablet? Is it consuming on a mobile phone? Is it on your desktop? Is it on your laptop? So it's understanding which social channel is it. So engagement is key, because it's finding the right time and place to deliver your actual ads that you've customized from segregating and communicating your audience. And the measurement is key, because without it, you're not going to know what's worked and hasn't worked. And when I was talking with the gentleman at the back, he talked about how many running different ads. It's all about measurement. So analytics is key. If you're segregating your audience significantly and you've got different audiences, you need to be understanding what message are they engaging with the best, which platform works well. Is it LinkedIn that does really well during the day? What's the engagement there? If they're using different ad formats, how well is that performing? By understanding the measurement, you can really narrow down on your ROI by understanding the cost per acquisition. We call it CPA. So once you narrow down your CPA and you understand what works and what doesn't work, and you understand your customer base, you get to see better results from your campaign. And how's the best way you're going to do that? So we're going to talk about campaign structure. So when you set up a social media campaign, I was just highlighting earlier, was what you don't want to do is set up one campaign, one ad group, and 2, 3 ads. Manual is better. Don't just go in and automate everything. Don't let the ads run all the time, 24 hours a day. People are not looking at your ads at 1 in the morning. They're asleep most of the time, especially if it's like e-commerce, or unless it's different time agencies. And so think about ad schedule, and that's why manual's better. And don't just group an entire age together, like 18 to 50. How a 50-year-old communicates and understands and receives a message is completely different to a young 18 to 21-year-old. the best thing to do, especially if you're e-commerce and you're selling products, or if you're a business, is to break it down into different levels. And don't assume that males and females communicate in the same way, understand message in the same way. You don't want to be running, don't want to be selling swimwear bikinis and target male and female targets all together. You want to be focused more on a female, not to be biased or gentle. I'm just saying that's more likely, so understand what it is. But if you take that same concept, let's say it's summer, you're selling bikinis, as your e-commerce site, you'll have one product that's £10 and another product that's £30. Is it right to be, using the same targeting for different products that have a different profitability margin within them? You might spend a little bit more and segregate the £30 product out and target an audience that has a bigger income sphere. Let's say an audience from 24 to 30 that has a better income than an audience that's 18 to 21 that might buy the £10 product, and then bidding on that element is different. That's why it's good to split out all your products, and manual is better, and that granular structure is key because it lets you bid on different products and create bids on different products so you can understand the actual CPA. No point setting a £5 bid on all your bikini wear when some products are £10 that only 18 to 19s are going to buy, and then you got within there products that are 30, 35 pound that your 20, 24, 25 year olds are going to buy that have a better disposable income. So you're spending £5 for a £10 product. One bid doesn't make sense. You want to granulate it out, and it is a manual process, and it is long-winded, and it does take time, but it is much better. You don't want to spend £1,000 on one campaign promoting bikinis. What you want to do is break that £1,000 budget into £50 campaigns targeting different age groups at different levels and different areas where the propensity to buy is high, and break that audience down by age, demographic, lifestyle, attitudes, and break it down individually, and then have specific ads and actual messages for them broken down. That £50 will get you a better return than just putting £1,000 in a campaign, because you're going to be like, well, who bought? Was it the 50-year-old? Was it the 45-year-old? Did they like the messaging? Did the 18-year-old to the 25-year-old revert to that message why they didn't buy? And what you'll see is if you do normal ads, you're just going to get normal results. But if you go very creative, you get actual better individual results. So that's why manual is better, and granular structure within a campaign build is key. And that leads us into bidding, because there's two types of bidding you can do. Now, automatic bidding, I'll just go to that first. I'm skipping it. That would only be relevant if you were doing, let's say, a bit of brand awareness. You wanted to target, let's say, the Leeds region, and you just wanted to get your brand out there. So you've got no real aim and objective from the campaign, no matter what platform you're using. You just want to create a bit of awareness. And let's say you're just targeting a specific group of people, let's say sales directors. So you want to target sales directors that you're running a networking event, you might use automatic bidding, because you're targeting a niche group. It's all about brand awareness. That's okay. But you don't want to use automatic bidding as a default. You want to do maximum and manual bidding, because then you have control over how much you let someone pay for a click on your ad that's going to go into your website for them to buy that service or product. So just consider that, like I said earlier, you don't want to be spending £5 on a product that costs you, that retails for £10. You probably want to reduce that bid to around about 50p to increase your gross profit margin. But for the product that's £35, you might want to increase your bid more than £5-6, because it's a higher retail item. It's going to take more for a quality person to think of it and use it and click on the ad to do it. So that's why maximum bidding is really good. So always take use of the manual bidding process you can by granulating your campaign structures. In terms of ad format, so you've got your audience profile. You've understood your audience profile by segregating them, understand how to communicate to them, understand when and where to engage with them, and then you're going to measure the results. You've then got your campaign structure. You've gone for a manual process. You've broken it down into maybe 20, 30 different ad groups. It's all about the creative. Now, video is a hot topic right now. It's actually close to boiling point in our opinion, but technology, as it says here, really defines what's happening. 5G just recently launched. So as we can see, when 4G launched over the last 3-4 years, we've seen the emergence of Facebook stories, Instagram stories. Snapchat has become big because of 3G and 4G over the last years. The new social media platforms will develop over the next coming years, and the biggest one next will be TikTok, which is purely video sharing and video content, which is key. And then what you'll start seeing is them actually monetizing that platform because video is key. And we don't actually spend much time in the news feed anymore. We spend more time in stream watching YouTube and in stream ads. And you'll notice it when you're actually engaging on LinkedIn, when you engage on YouTube, you'll see a little 10-second, 15-second ad pop up. And right about 2-3 years ago, ads used to be 30 seconds and 60-second videos. And that used to drive great engagement. People don't want to watch more than 5-7 second videos. You've got to capture them very, very, very quickly. And that's why it's important to granulate your campaigns and target individual audiences and focus on different age groups and breaking down that segmentation of your audience profile clearly, because then you can specify the different communication message you do within that ad. So if you do in-stream ads across Snapchat, or whether you do them on Instagram stories, or if you do on Facebook, that actually come on Messenger and Messenger stories, you can be very specific and grab someone's attention, because our attention span on social media is very limited. We're hounded by so many different ads. You have to stand out to that particular audience profile for your product and service in a unique way, and video is the best way of doing that from a creative format. But we understand video is expensive, but animated quick GIF videos work quite well. We had one of our clients interface that created a GIF to run a display ad. We told them to turn it into a 15-second GIF video, which basically turned it into an MP4 format, and it delivered a 39% conversion rate on LinkedIn because the video format performed well than the image, which converted at 20%. And that was just to drive a simple thing, which was report downloads and community guide to architectures and designers. So it just shows the impact a video has, nearly twice as much in terms of conversion rate for a video, which was just an animated message that switched every few seconds. So it's quite impactful. And then finally, reporting and analytics. It's a key element. Without it, there's no point doing everything from audience profiling to campaign structure to bidding, creating different types of messaging. Actually, the analytics is the most important part. You need to understand all your metrics from performance, which is all your conversion metrics. You might be running different aims and objectives, and that's why that's key, because with defined aims and objectives, you'll know if your activity is working. So if we take that example of swimwear, if you've got some ads performing quite well from a low CPA, so you've got certain products working quite well, you want to investigate why are the other products not converting. You spent money on these ads, why didn't they go through to the website and complete a purchase? It could be the messaging, it could be the targeting, it could be the audience. You need to understand what doesn't work. And that's where you need to start pulling in other metrics beyond just what the platform gives you. But the platform gives you a lot of information. Or you've got universal tags now for Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook and Instagram that connect with Tag Manager that go within your analytics and on your website. All the data is there within the platform that you need. It's understanding the different metrics from clicks and engagements and what that actually means. If it's a video views are great, but if people aren't clicking through to the ad after they've watched the video, what impact is that video having? Yes, it's great from a brand awareness point of view, but it's not driving an ROI. But because you've granulated your ads and created so many different creative messages, you haven't spent a lot of money on one campaign, so you haven't wasted a lot of budget. But what you can identify is those £50 little pound ad group campaigns which haven't worked, where you can make significant changes, and then you can start investing more money in the ad groups that have done quite well because you've set a £5 cost per acquisition bid and you've got your 10 conversions from that £50 budget. You know you can start spending more money within that ad group and singling them out, and then it's all about being agile and moving your budgets around within platforms and what works. So the update you get from that analytics is going to help create new content, understand what works on the website in terms of the content that's on that website, but more importantly help you actually improve your results and reduce your spend by focusing on the ad groups and understanding the learnings from them in terms of what delivers the lowest cost per acquisition. So just in terms of key takeaways, we did say it was a short presentation. Understand your audience better to focus on your target customer base for the 4 principles that we talked about: segregation, communication, engagement, and measurement. Manual is better in terms of campaign structure. Build it from scratch and break it down yourselves. Technology is changing the way video ads is working. We know that it's going to change quite significantly. If you ask me, it'll be more virtual reality and in-stream stuff. You might have seen it with Boohoo recently, where you actually can see the product in front of you through your own camera in the workspace that you're in with someone turning around. As 5G gets better, we're going to start seeing more immersive ads and more immersive videos as a result of that, so it's staying up with the times, and then understand the campaign and the website analytics and make the improvements, what is working and what isn't working, and how can we reduce the cost of acquisition overall. Does anyone have any questions? That is an overview of the ebook that we've created. So if you go on our website and download the 15-page ebook, it provides a lot more granular data and information about what to do. So please help yourselves when you go on the website. Are there any questions?
Obviously, with the first bit of knowing your audience, if your role in my instance is more B2B than B2C,
yeah.
So how do you do that in the sense of, do I just go for stereotypical behaviours of certain people in certain roles and start there, or how do I actually understand the behaviours of my target person if they are a finance director, say?
A lot of the platforms like Facebook, they have their buyer behaviour segments within them. Right. So you can layer that on top of specific segmentation like demographics. So like, let's say within LinkedIn, which is an example you gave with you, is you can break it down to different age groups and different job titles at different senior levels. So you might have your financial manager, and then you'll have your financial director, and then you'll have your, vice president of finance direction, etc. But then you layer that with different elements such as their income. The income levels are going to be different. You're not going to have a financial director job title at the age of 18 to 21 unless you're extremely smart. It's highly unlikely. So you break it down with demographics first, and then the machine learning within what the data that these platforms take from you in terms of what you share within your own profile. So Facebook learns that it will only show the ad to someone who's likely to buy your product or engage with your ad. That's how it works. It uses its own buyer behavior data platform within it to actually deliver that ad to those people that are most likely to convert, because it knows it based on the information you share within a platform on a daily, minute basis. The stuff you're talking about, the content you're sharing, the content you're liking, the groups you follow, the people that you actually comment on if they're like influencers on LinkedIn. So on LinkedIn right now, organic is great, but you see a lot of people commenting on people that have tens of thousands of followers on LinkedIn and seen as LinkedIn influencers. So it'll be that kind of behavior that you can actually dictate out, because a financial director is not going to be looking at another influencer because he'll be the one giving the content out, whereas someone much more at a lower, junior level will be following that kind of person. So you can dictate out, so it will try and avoid those kind of elements. So the machine learning within the platform does a lot of the buyer behavior elements within it. But like within Facebook, you can actually select different types of buyer behavior profiles. So if you go on Facebook, you can say the propensity to actually buy a product online. So how likely are they going to buy a product online? How did they recently fly out? But it takes all this data from the data that you share constantly through different platforms, like Facebook owns WhatsApp, Instagram, and obviously it's Facebook itself. The data you're constantly sharing across those platforms, it's learning from about you, and it's understanding your behaviors and lifestyles and what you do and where you go. Plus, when you're in app, it also tracks GPS data, so it knows where you go. So if you've been within a certain store, it knows that. So that's why you can target by postcode level within certain social media platforms. So they learn so much about you because you'll be in a store and you'll be taking a nice selfie, that they are collecting data on that to understand your behavior and lifestyle and attitudes of what you do constantly to help us direct the ads to the right person at the right time. Scary, I know. And that's why they came under a lot of scrutiny in America in terms of what's happening with the data in Google. And since then, quite a lot of some of the targeting on Facebook's been scaled back, but not all of it. So it's to me, it's fascinating, it's amazing. But obviously other people, it's like it can be an invasion of their privacy, potentially. So in terms of all that, but that's the price you pay to have Facebook stories and Instagram stories and Snapchat filters, etc. It's all about data.
Probably why I don't use them.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Yeah, just on like, because obviously I've got quite a new business to business.
Yeah. Yeah.
What would you say from a digital marketing point of view is probably some of the best ways to get clients coming to you rather than me doing a lot of outbound?
Do you mean through actual advertising or just
Yeah,
you
'cause
yourself?
I don't know much about digital marketing
Yeah.
and the sort of things that I can do. Like, would you suggest doing Google ads? There's so much ads on everywhere.
There's no right answer.
Yeah.
And that's why we say, you know, analytics is key. Trial, break it out, be granular. Try different things. We're in Agile Digital Marketing, so what we say to our clients is try a few things and then we'll optimize what works the best based on what we're learning. But as a startup and B2B, it can be quite difficult. So, and budgets can be quite tight. And that's why we say go granular, only spend a little bit amount. Maybe try putting out some quality content that features you. It's not difficult to go out and get a small tripod and a video and sit in a cool environment and just do like a 30-second video on a topic saying this is language, etc. does this.
Yeah.
And then trial that out in different elements and start targeting different people with it. So take the same content and target and break it up into granular levels. Maybe spend 20 quid here. Do not press the boost button because you're just giving free money to Facebook. Do not do that. I'll cry if you do that. It's the biggest sin you can make is pressing the boost button because all you're doing is saying, here's 50 quid, just increase my reach a little. And it does nothing because, like we said, it doesn't know who your audience, who you're trying to target.
Yeah.
So if you create content for a particular type of person who's going to understand it, and they might be one or two out of the 50,000 people that the ad's going to go to, it's a waste. That's why you narrow it down and target those people granularly and bid differently on it. So my advice would be create some video content. We know video is really good, and trial the different video platforms so you can run video ads on LinkedIn. Instagram would be great for you as well. Instagram's becoming quite a B2B platform.
Yeah.
Facebook is really good because all these channels like Facebook and LinkedIn, people give their job titles. So if you already have some customers and you know who works, understand who they are, understand what job titles they have, the companies they work for, and you know the positions they have, and take that data and start implementing and writing that into your targeting, but break it down and just put like 50 quid here, 100 quid here, and see what works.
Yeah.
But make sure that the content you have resonates and the content you have on your website and where you're sending them to, because that works quite well. Yeah. Any other questions? Oh, fantastic. Amazing. Right. Like I said, ebooks available on the website. We've got some leaflets, so if you want a free audit and strategy from Bobble Digital, so like you said, you want to learn more and you want to sit down with us, take a leaflet, contact us at Bobble Digital, or speak to myself, Tom, or Josh whilst you're here. I'd like to thank everyone who took the time out in the afternoon on a lovely hot day to come out. We are going to do another event. We are going to continue with this, but we'll probably do it in the morning, see if we can get more traction of people attending. So thank you very much for everyone who came.